Welcome to the Business of Dance podcast, where you'll learn what it takes to create your dream professional dance career.
Join us as we dive into the insights and experiences of the world's top dance industry professionals, including dancers, choreographers, agents, casting directors, educators, and other dance industry experts.
We explore a diverse range of topics, from personal development and mental skills to audition techniques, creating meaningful industry connections, social media marketing, seeking out dance agents and casting opportunities, on-the-job etiquette, talent unions, pitching to the media, health, finances, and so much more.
Here is your host, Menina Fortunato.
Today's guest is actually originally from Argentina. She's a dancer, choreographer, scholar, and educator with 35 years of international experience across Argentina, Chile, Italy, and the US. She is the founder and director of Anabella Lenzu Dance Drama, a New York-based company known for thought-provoking, historically conscientious dance theater. Since 2006, she created 15 works and presented over 400 performances worldwide. Her award-winning dance films have screened in more than 200 festivals. She's recognized by NDEO and NYSDEA for her innovative pedagogy and leadership. Lenzu continues to shape the field of dance education, and she is the author of a brand new book called Unveiling Motion and Emotion and Teaching Dance Through Meaningful Gestures, Exploring the Body as a Vehicle for Expression and Philosophy, and currently living in Brooklyn, New York. Please help me welcome Anabella Lenzu. Hello, welcome. Good to have you.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so I know your most recent project is the book, and we will talk about that. But before we get to that, I would like to get to know the younger Anabella, the Anabella that started dancing in what country? Was that Argentina? What did that look like? What styles of dance were you studying? Where were you studying? What did your upbringing look like before? I mean, it looks like you've been traveling the world, and now you're planted in New York and Brooklyn. How did you get there? Tell us, go back to the beginning.
Well, thank you for the question. Well, everything started, I'm 50 years old, so I started dancing at 5 years old in my hometown in Argentina, in Bahia Blanca. At this time, it was not available to study ballet until you have 9 years old. The education in Argentina is very structured in ballet, and we follow the model of Vaganova technique, the Russian school of ballet. So until I didn't have 9 years old, I studied flamenco from 5 years old to 9, and because there was nothing else to study. And that gave me a lot of musicality and understanding of the rhythm and dancing with the heels. And then at 9 years old, I started to train in ballet. And then I moved into Teatro Colón and I studied there. Teatro Colón is one of the best dance schools in the world for dance. We produce amazing dancers like Julio Boca, Eleonora Casano, Paloma Herrera, big names around the world. And I have the luck to study there. And I studied there dance history. I started to be interested in choreography. And so my dance history teacher, Angel Fumagalli, he passed away. He was the manager of big stars in Argentina for dancing. And he told me, Anabella, you need to study choreography properly. So you have to go to New York. I said, okay, I'm going to New York. And I didn't speak English. In Teatro Colón, we studied French for 7 years.
Wow.
So, like, okay, I'm going to another country. And then here, when I came, I studied a little bit at Juilliard. And then I follow all the lines of the pioneers of modern dance. And I follow from ballet, very strong foundation, technical foundation. I discovered classical modern dance, American modern dance, from Graham technique to Humphrey Limon to Merce Canning, to everything that you want to name. And I want to study their choreographies, actually. I didn't want to study the technique. I have to study the technique, but my vision, it was about finding my own language, my own lexicon of dance, that it was not ballet. It was boring for me. I need to, as a Latina artist, I have to storytelling, and I have to be a little more theatrical. I have to use spoken word. And so I studied here in the United States, and then I moved to Italy to work there. I worked for 5 years, and I was going from London to Rome and Naples. That was my triangle of synergy. And then 20 years ago, I moved here to New York City again to have my family, my kids. I have Lucio is 17 and Fiamma is 12. Also, she's a dancer. And my husband is an American photographer and filmmaker. So we always collaborate together. But, that's the story of Argentina, United States, Europe, and then come back to United States.
So you've been on a world tour. It looks like.
I feel like sometimes I'm like a cat with 7 lives. But I always say to every dancer, if you really want to commit with that, you have to travel, because this is not just about the flexibility of your body. It's the flexibility of your mind, the flexibility of your heart, and your spiritual flexibility. So you have to encounter different countries, languages, mentalities, religion, ways of living to really, for your art to be rich. And you can be open to that experiences.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I've traveled to over 40 countries myself, and I feel like I would not be the same person today and have an understanding of the world and other people and other cultures. It's so easy to get stuck in your bubble, especially as North Americans, where there's so many people that I meet that have never even left their own country or never left the continent and never been over the ocean to even know what else is out there. And that's one big perk with dance, is dance can give you opportunities to travel, to see the world, and to explore and to see what else is outside of your little corner wherever you live. So I think I agree with you wholeheartedly. So I'm curious to know, this was many years ago, the first time you ever went to study in New York. I'm curious to know, because we have some international dancers that are primarily Canadian here, and being able to come and study or even work in the US is a whole thing. So I'm curious to know the pathway on how you were able to immigrate to the US initially, and eventually, was it through marriage? Was it through work? Was it through a student visa? I'm curious to know.
No, first was through a tourist visa when I came to see. I didn't even, and I didn't speak English. We didn't study that in school. So it was a very, like a cultural shock, but I was so thirsty that I said, well, I came for 3 months, and then I said, yes, I want to stay here. And so then I have a student visa. And then when I return later, I will come back 20 years ago, but I was already married. We married in Europe. So I came with my official visa. So from day one, I could work here in the United States. That was very
So
important.
was your husband American?
Yeah, he's American. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So through marriage, you were able to eventually get your status.
To re-enter 20 years. Yeah. And
Gotcha.
I'm American. Yeah.
And now you're American. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's good to hear. I'm always curious because I am also a U.S. Naturalized citizen. So, but I had to go through all kinds of visas and permanent residencies and citizenship.
Oh, yes.
It was a whole 17-year journey for me that I could have done in shorter time, but I took a long time to get it all done. But a lot of that is a roadblock for a lot of international dancers, especially those that want to come to the U.S.
And it's now, but also in the past, it was very hard to get an artist visa because there are so many talented American artists here that get a special artist visa is a tour of force. Very difficult.
It's not easy. I did it, but it was not easy. And that was also 25 years ago. And I feel like it's just gotten harder and harder over the years to get. Yeah. Okay. So you went to, Argentina, New York, Italy, bouncing from Rome to London, got married, fell in love, started a family in New York. Now you currently have a company, correct?
I have a company for 10 years in New York City.
So
from 2006
tell us about that. Tell us about that.
It's so different. I have a company in Argentina. Then I have a company in a dance school in Argentina. When I
currently, before you used to,
we have still a dance school in Argentina.
You still have oh wow, okay.
So when I was 17 years old, my dad an Italian immigrant. He didn't want that I move away. And so the way to support me is like, I help you open a dance school. So one of my great grandmothers passed away, and I inherit this beautiful house that my sister now directed is the school. So at 17 years old, I opened my dance school, and we have 350 students enrolled. It was a big, big success. And I ran this until 2001, when I moved here, definitely to the United States to study. And so this school, we run with my sister. My sister is a flamenco dancer, Anabella Lenzu. She still have the school. So the school opened 1994. And at the beginning, it was just ballet. And now there is ballet and jazz and yoga and, of course, flamenco and then Argentinian tango and Argentine folk dances. So, the school opened and grew in dimensions. But for me, that was our encounter with reality to share. I teach for 10 years to kids. I don't currently teach kids or teenagers. I teach at NYU. So it was a journey to have your own academy and know how you administrate. I have 6 faculty members, a secretary. It was a lot of, we tour a lot also with the young company that we have. So it was a very important experience for me to define, like, I want to keep having this dance studio. And the answer was no, because I want to improve myself artistically. And so I thought, I can see myself having 80 years old and still having the dance school. So I want to really push myself. And that's what made me move from Argentina to United States, to push, to really understand what I want to do. And it was a tour of courage to move to a different culture with a different language and different value system. And I come from a family that is very close, everybody, big family, Italian family. So being alone in New York City was terrifying at the beginning.
Yeah.
Big deal. But we do it because we have a bigger commitment and we need to find our voice as an artist. So I couldn't find this in my own country. I need to move away to find the erosion, who you are in the world. So find your voice as an artist.
I love that. Now, in your bio, it says you're a scholar. Would you like to explain your education and how that all transpired? And where did you study? And how did you get your education? And
absolutely. Well, I always ask when I teach here, and currently I teach at NYU in the School of Visual Arts, and I also do online courses for NDO, which is the National Education Organization in the United States. And I always start the class and I ask, how many books of dance did you read? How many shows do you read? You go to see per week, per month. And then everybody look at me. From little one in Argentina, we didn't have many books about dance in the library because many books are not translated to Spanish. But any book that I could get in Portuguese, in French, I was reading them. And then I feel that dance is an intellectual matter as well. So scholar, because you need to study from day one. Yes, I know everybody wants to be in the dance studio and sweat. But you need to understand your genealogical tree about dance. You need to understand where are the artists that influence you. Who are your grandmothers, your uncles in the art field? Because that would help you to define and give you your job. So the scholar part started already when I have 14 years old. And then with dance history classes and dance criticisms classes. And then at 18 years old, I decided to open a magazine. I was very young and I have a lot. Yes. I have
a magazine at 18?
At 18. My school, it was a very special school where I went, my high school, that is connected to the Universidad del Sur. It's like the main university in Argentina. So my school, instead to be like regular school, is 6 years. And we study pedagogy and creative writing to a level that then we can go and start third year at the university. Very hard to get in. So I started this magazine with the idea to interview artists. And that was my access card to interview big personalities. At 18 years old, I was interviewing personalities in theater, in opera, in dance, of course, in visual arts. I was very curious. And then I organized, since always I love to organize things. I have another writer. So each one have their mission to interview and to research very original articles. When I look back, all that's why I say it's like a seven life. I ask my current students now at NYU, I say, what is your dreams? What do you want to do? Are you really working on that? Because since day one, I knew that I need to understand my community. Who are the artists? Understand doing an interview allows me to create my own future. It's like, oh, I'm going to be a mom or not. And many of the artists that I interview, they're not parents because they leave the idea of a family behind. And so from day one, when I have, the interview 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old, I'm thinking, no, I want to have a family. So how I'm going to do it is really, I need to travel a lot at the beginning. Then now I don't travel anymore. Everybody comes to visit me in New York City. Everybody that want to come to New York City, I'm happy to invite you to my classes to get a coffee. Now I'm here because I did a lot when I was young. I really traveled. I really pushed myself. And then it's an experience that look like a lady of 80 years old, but I'm 50. My resume had 36 pages and not everything is included. I mean,
36.
Yes, it's a lot.
It's a lot of work experience. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's no distinction between life and career. It's very hard for me to distinguish. If I don't do what I love, which is teach and write and choreograph, I don't know who I am. It's something that is intrinsic. And so from day one, having a magazine, having done school, I push myself into the idea of what I want to do. And I try different things. Like I try to be just the director of a dance school, but it was not enough. I tried to just direct the magazine, but it wasn't enough. I have my dance company here from 2006 to 2016. That's how we started the question. It was very interesting when I moved to the United States after being working in Europe, because the main difference is that in Europe, art is supported by the government. And here, everything is by private foundations.
It's different.
That was a big, big change. In Argentina, having my own dance company, we get some sponsorship for the city. We get some private sponsors. So we was able to travel back and forth to Chile and Argentina. But then when I moved to Italy, I worked for the Italian government. So I have an stipend and I have access to a studio 24/7. I didn't need to pay a rental. And then when we call for an audition, they say, Anabella, how many dancers do you want? And I say 25. And then we have 3 actors and 10 musicians. So it was a kind of another access to work. And then when I moved back to the United States in 2006, instead to open the company right away, I did an internship with an amazing nonprofit institution called The Field here in New York City. And for the first 6 months, I did all the training to understand what is a nonprofit organization in the United States, how you get grants, how you do your press release, how you work with the press, how you do your pitching your work. 6 months, I exchanged to work as an intern for learning these things, to understand the territory. And then I opened my dance company that lasts 10 years. And in 2016, I decided it's too much work. I spend more hours in front of the computer than in the dance studio because of the survival mode. In New York City, if you want to rent a studio, more or less the cheapest one that you can get is $15 all the way to $25 an hour. So you can see the productions when you go to see in a theater. I can see what is the budget, how many hours they spend in the studio. And so that made me very sad about the United States in comparison with unlimited resources in Italy at this time. I mean, we was a few choreographers that they have support for the government. Here are more companies, but less support, and it's everything private. It's not a perfect work. I mean, working in Europe versus working in the United States and in Argentina, you have to understand how the economy affects you and how you can do. It's like you open the refrigerator and you see what you have in the refrigerator, making a cake, or you go to the supermarket and get a cake. Not always we have the access to get all the ingredients. So having a company in the United States for 10 years, it was a challenge. And so I decided that I'm going to close the company, keep the nonprofit, and start to do solo work. And so now that I'm older, I'm doing solo shows. And this is a completely different idea of what is performance, because my work became more autobiographical and talk about being a female, to be a Latina artist in the United States, to being a mother, and talking about feminism. So in a way, my work became more personal because of economical reasons, but artistical reasons.
So you produced and starred in a solo show. Is it still something you're doing, or is it something that you did for a few years?
Oh, yeah. I'm creating a new show for
oh my gosh,
2026.
So that is a beautiful example of creating your own opportunity. So can you explain to the dancers that might be thinking, what if I created my own show? What would that look like? What are the tasks and responsibilities that go into producing and starring and touring in your own show?
Not easy, but I feel that I've been in the other side. To be a good captain, you need to be a good Marine. And you need to know how to follow orders. So many years, dance for another people, dance in another productions. And then when I was in Italy, I have the resources to start to plan. I want to do this show. I want to have this X amount of dancers. It's not easy. Again, I feel that it's about a vision. I'm a little bit a rebel. I mean, I'm Argentinian. So for me, there are no no's. I mean, my culture is about no's. If you go to Argentina, you can do this? No. Can you buy this thing? No. Can you have it? No. So the no, I already have it. I grew up in a culture where nothing is possible. So to being an artist for me is creating my own opportunities. And in a way, that's required a lot of courage and a lot of belief on yourself. Not that you are good or bad. It's about your commitment. What I say is important. It's important for me. And I know it's important for different communities. So starting with that and starting with a strong foundation, I mean, technical foundation. When I study in Teatro Colón, we study makeup and we study costume design and we study set design and we study choreography and we study repertory, and we did all the technique. So we have a little bit an idea about, okay, if I need to call a composer, I know how to read music. So that's 7 years studying music, but we never study an instrument, something very strange in Argentina. So we study music, so I can talk with a composer. And when I work with opera, and I need to read the scores and I need to choreograph, I can communicate. And I'm not a composer or a musician. The same thing when I work with a light designer, a set designer. I know how is the construction. I know what is the process. So then I can choose the best person that will help me to achieve what I need. Because I don't do everything alone. I need to call a lot of collaborators, and that take a time to choose what are the best collaborators for you. But you need to be very secure and sure about what you're doing. What is your mission and what is your vision? To call someone else, hey, this is important. Come and join me. This is what I can provide. That's what I need. Can you give me that? So it's a team effort. Even though I do solo shows, I collaborate with a lot of artists. The production sometimes have 6, 7 other artists that they support my back. Instead to me supporting the back of the dancers, now there are these collaborators that support me from the other direction, like a dramaturg, a director, a light designer, a composer. I always have a technology, so the technology advisor is very important for my shows. So I have my team that there are behind the scenes that support me from my back.
That's beautiful. Now, I'm curious to know, do you do your own promotion, or do you also collaborate with a company or a team that helps you with selling tickets and finding the venues? And how do you manage that?
Collaborate. I have a press agent here in New York City that do the job, but also it's about personal relationship, because myself also, I've been writing for a long time for different magazines. So my press agent connect with some, and then I also connect personally with other people because I've been writing reviews and interviews for dance for since I'm 18 around the world. The last series of interviews that I did, it was about defining the gender of dance theater, what it is. And I interviewed big stars of dance theater, including Dominique Mercier, who was one of the principal dancers for the Pina Bausch, who I know in person. And so that's why I can reach and I call and I say, hey, let's do an interview. Help me to define. Let's make a collection of interviews. So it's both ways. The press is the personal contact, but you also need someone else to speak in your behalf because you cannot do it all. You cannot do it all.
Absolutely. No, I understand that. You can be the star of the show, but there's still always a supporting team to back you up.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know about your role at NYU. What do you teach specifically at NYU?
I'm part of Gallatin, which is a very interesting NYU. We cannot say department because it's like a medieval city, NYU. So we have NYU Tisch, and then we have NYU Steinhardt, and then we have NYU Gallatin. Gallatin is very intellectual. So I teach a theoretical and practical class about dance theater and performance. So my course pack, the students read chapters of 26 books.
Wow.
50 videos, and we have the practical parts. Because for me, is that they don't understand the direction. If they don't understand intellectually, they cannot achieve this physically. And so I have actors and musicians and dancers. Everybody can come to my class, part of the NYU Gallatin. So
wow.
It's a.
And when you say 26 books, is this in a semester? In one semester?
In a semester. Yes, in one semester.
Gosh.
That's why for me is very important. I'm panelist for many, many, many dance festivals around the world. I used to be part of the Bessie Awards Committee, which are the Oscars for dance here in New York City. I used to be with them for 5 years as a selection committee member. And so I know a lot of dance. So when a young choreographer comes and says, oh, Anabella, look what I did. I say, well, you know that this person, I don't know, Trisha Brown did this in the 60s. And then this person, Antiros Kirsmeyer, did it here. So I send a list of, okay, now look at all these videos and look at all these books about people that choreograph about the same topic or do the same treatment in your choreography. I mean, the originality of the work is coming from research. You don't start from zero. And that is very important. That's why I cannot emphasize how important it is to read and research. Because otherwise you ended up doing like everybody else. And the problem
it is important to learn, especially the history. There's so many dancers that go through years of dancing that have no clue who came before them or the techniques before them or how certain styles of dance evolved into other styles and fused with other styles. And that is important to know the roots of what you're studying. Where did it come from?
I feel that it is like when you go to a supermarket here in New York City and you say, oh, I want to get milk. Oh, well, what kind of milk? Whole milk?
Where does it come from? How is it made?
All that. And then you need to know in order to choose. You need to know in order to choose. Can you choose? While I was in Argentina, I couldn't choose. I just had flamenco and then ballet. And that's it.
Right.
And then
flamenco is beautiful and Argentinian tango is beautiful. I've seen it on the streets of Buenos Aires when I was there years ago, and it's beautiful. I mean, flamenco is a gorgeous style of dance. It's strong, it's sensual, it's rhythmic, it's classy. I don't know. I've never studied it personally, but I always am fascinated when I see flamenco, that the passion and the fire.
Everybody should study or tap or flamenco in their formation because the rhythm, or you study tap or you study flamenco, that give you a completely different breath. You understand music, rhythm, and melody, and you really embrace the musicality in another way when you do these two forms.
No, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful form of dance that I'm curious. Show of hands. How many dancers have ever studied flamenco or taken one flamenco class? Okay.
Very nice.
Okay.
Very good.
Better than I
Good.
expected. Okay. That's not bad.
And tap.
And how about tap?
many-
Hands up if you studied tap. Okay, definitely more on the tap side.
Excellent. Very good. Very good.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about your most recent project, your latest book. Can you share what exactly is in this book and why would a dancer want to read it? We're talking about reading all these books. So why read your book? What's in your book? Tell us about it.
Well, it took me 11 years to write this book. I have two books. The first one, bilingual, Spanish and English. I published Unveiling Motion and Emotion, Revelando Movimiento y Emoción in 2013. Right after I published this book, bilingual, that is about my journey as a dance educator, traveled from different continents, I said, okay, now I need to write a book that embraces technique and philosophy and the artistic implementation. So I start to write the book as I finish the other one. And this is the time that I have my daughter. And so I was literally breastfeeding my daughter and writing this book. Now my daughter is 12. This book, when you write something, there is a say that you need to plant a book, have a kid, and plant a tree, have a kid, and write a book. After this book, I can rest in peace. I did everything that I have to do in life.
All your life's work is in that book. You're like, I've done the job. Here it is.
Yes. Because there are so many things. In this book, I name 30 other books about the training of the performer. From theater to mime, to contemporary dance, to modern dance, to ballet. And I make these connections between them. And that, for me, it was very important because otherwise I feel that, my formation as a ballet, my formation in modern dance, my formation in flamenco, my formation, but where is all the connections? The connections are here. And so when I talk, the first part is about pedagogy, how to teach dance. I mean, how to understand dance, why you teaching. And so I ask the question, why you teaching? Where are you teaching? What are your goals? And so we analyze that. That's part one. Part two is about the technical level. I mean, you're like, but what is your own technique? I say, no, I don't care about Anabella Lenzu technique. It's not interesting. I'm interested in principles that are common in any performer. And so when I was writing that, I was using the word dancer, but then I need to open it up because I train actors, opera singers, visual artists, or performance artists. And so I'm talking about things that unite them all, like understanding what is presence. Presence is not talent. Presence is technique. So many people, I have the talent or I don't have the talent. I'm like, well, you understand your alignment? Do you understand the concept of energy? You understand the projection of energy when you are on the stage. You understand the concept of presence. So I go there and then I go anatomically from head to toe. So the head alignment, the eye in connection to the brain, because I also teach anatomy. No, it's not just about dance history.
There's dance history, technique, and anatomy in this.
All together. Like when I talk about breath, okay, I talk about anatomically why we need to breathe, why the oxygen is the gasoline for your muscles, but also how breathing is the representation of your point of view about why you dance. Different techniques and different style of dance focus the breath in a different way. I remember learning ballet. We just would use the nostril. We don't do noise. Then I came into modern dance and then it's like the accent is out because it's about the gravity. And many dancers use also the sound. And so we're talking about that. Like, what is the difference between doing a demi-plie in ballet versus doing a demi-plie in modern dance? It's the same, it's demi-plie. But when you do demi-plie, let me see the camera. So when you do demi-plie in ballet, you're going down and you inhale. And when you exhale, you push because it's anti-gravity. When you do modern dance, you exhale when you do plie and inhale. And just understanding how you use breath is not just about how you project energy and make you feel different. So that's why I go on and on in this book about the principle of Motion creates emotion. And emotion, because if you don't do it, I don't know. I spent a long time through all my students to how you turn out from the abductors, from the 6 rotators, how the femur rotating to the hip socket. And I say, why I'm so specific about your muscularity? Why I'm so specific about your breath? Because if you're not doing this correctly, you are not hitting your own emotions. So you cannot provoke the audience to feel the same. It feels different if I do this than if I do. It feels different for me and it feels different for the audience. So this communication that in dance we call the metakinesis, which is the empathy of movement, and what I describe, and I talk 20 pages of my book about what we call the muscular drama, that my muscularity is what make and provoke this empathy reaction to the audience. So this book is not just talking about, oh, how I feel. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, it feels so bad. Oh, look my leg. Oh, I can do 20 turns. Who cares about that? If you're not really, dance is not gymnastic. It's an art form. So I have to talk about the traditions of the art form to be on the stage. And so that's why I say that after write this book, I can die in peace because I say it all. I mean, my next book is going to be about choreography, which is a creative process. But regarding the body, regarding the anatomical and the artistic applications, that's why it took me 11 years. Every time that I went to like, oh, no, this is not the right word to define. No, I need to rephrase that because and I have 3 editors. And editors that didn't know also about dance. So they asked me questions. Oh, but what is that? And so they need to be very clear. That's why it took me 11 years to write this book. It's a lot of trying to decode what is the important thing. But I don't give recipes. They are not exercises in the book. I don't want to give you a recipe. I want that you do your own recipe. I give you the ingredients, and then you need to use your activity to make this happen. Otherwise, it's so boring.
And where can people find this book? Do you have a quick link that you can share with all the dancers?
I can share here in the chat. It's in Amazon. It's both versions, the hard copy, and then there is also the digital one, so you can get a Kindle.
The Kindle, and, or the hard copy.
The Kindle. Yeah,
beautiful.
Or the hard copy.
Well, thank you so much
both
for sharing, and congratulations on sharing 11 years of your blood, sweat, and tears with us. And at this time, I'd like to open it up for Q&A. Abby has a question. All right.
Hi, I'm Abby. I'm 16 and I'm from Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. My question is, in your experience teaching and dancing internationally, what is a positive quality that dancers in other parts of the world have that dancers in the U.S. might lack?
You hit. I miss my European dancers so much. American dancers are very afraid. I tell you one example. My choreography is very strong. As you can understand, it's like the strong and the life experiences. So in one piece of mine called December 2001, it's a political piece that talking about like strikes and everything in Argentina. So in one part, the dancers need to do this gesture. And in Europe, everybody did like, it's a little bit of obscene gesture they do. And they run away. And then here, when I came to United States in New York City, the dancer was doing this finger, they bend the finger, they was cheating on the gesture. I said, why you don't do it? Oh, because my hands are dirty and touch the floor. I say, I want the dirty hands. Don't fake it. I say, this is what you want. Wash the hands before. Oh, yeah, but we're turning on the floor. But this is a statement. You cannot cheat and pretend. Many people here cheat things. I'm like, are you cheating your a la seconde? Or you do a la seconde, or you don't do a la seconde. You cannot. Oh, I'm going to cheat the line. What are you going to cheat? You cheat yourself. I mean, that concept drives me crazy. The dancer was very scared of me at the beginning, teaching here in United States. Because also, I give a lot of feedback. I say, if you go to an open professional class and the dance teacher doesn't give you at least 3 corrections per class, don't take this class anymore. You're wasting your money. you have to have corrections. And so American dancers are a little bit afraid of take these corrections, but they need to understand that that's the way that you grow. It is not a criticism. I have many students that came back to me like, oh, but Anabella, you criticize me. No, I'm helping you. I want that you fix this. Because then when you go into the professional world, you have to have that. That's why I say many times, especially in New York, here's, oh, everybody pay for performance, but nobody want to pay for rehearsals. I say, well, but you cannot memorize the choreography. So the choreographer need to wait for you. You have to have a quick mind. So, I mean, it's about training. A little bit dissatisfying. In Europe, they're more rebel. They're going there. Here is a little bit more holding back. I answered to you, Abby.
Yes, thank you.
You go to Europe, you will see that. I need to stop dancers in Europe. I say, no, don't do this anymore. Here, I need to say more. Europe, less.
Interesting.
So very interesting. The culture. Yeah.
Yes, that's a cultural thing. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, next up we have Braden.
Hi, I'm Braden Warden. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Dallas, Texas. I was just wondering, what was your experience running your own studio and teaching students like? Could you touch on that a little bit more?
Sure. I stopped having my studio because the moms drive me crazy, because of the students. It was a really tough time. It was educating the kids and educating the community. So I have like each student have a little notebook. And so we write things down so they can show the parents. Like I was doing, I don't know, this time I was doing drawings of the skeleton, of the muscles. And I did not just for the kids, to show the parents. And then every 3 months, we have reunions with the parents where I show this and I say, this is what we're teaching. It was both education, but also it's about class. Sometimes I have like mothers like, why my daughter is not dancing in the front? Why my daughter, you don't bring her to dance to TV? And then they was telling me the things what I need to do. And then I was really pissed off. I say, are you a dancer? Are you a... So that's why that was the most difficult thing. It was not the administration. It was not the kids. The kids was lovely. And I never feel so loved by students that when you teach kids in your own dance studio. It's your own family. It's tough with the mothers, with the family. So you need to do an extra effort for them to educate them. But I can say that all the dancers that I form are all professional dancers. And they're having their own schools. My sister's not happy because I formed the next generation schools in the neighborhood, which are the competitions for her. Oh no! And she's like, "Oh my God, these are all Anabella students." I say yes, and it was part of educating the entire family. That's why they understood that dance was important. I have many parents that say, "Okay, now my kids, when finish high school, I wanted to drop dance and do a serious career." So then I need to explain them why dance is important. So that was very tiring for me. After 10 years, I say, no, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Great question, Braden. Next up, we have Miss Piper. Introduce yourself and what is your question?
Hi, I'm Piper Eastwood. I'm 10 years old and I live in Fairfax, Virginia. And my question for you is, where's your favorite place you've ever performed?
Oh, every place. Thank you, Piper, for this question. Because every place that I perform have a history. And I learn the history of the building. My favorite place to perform here in New York City is Judson Church. It's in front of Washington Square Park. It's a historical place where postmodern dance started. And every time that I perform, this is a church, it's monumental, and I'm doing my solos, I feel the ghost. I feel the past there. And I embrace it, and that charged me up. There are some places that give me more energy because I get inspired for the histories that passed before me. For example, I perform in another church, very important, the West Park Presbyterian Church, that now all stars in movies like Ben Affleck, they're doing a fundraiser to don't turn down this church. And this is the church where many, many things happen. oh my God, performing in this, being in the dark, in the performance, I was scared. I feel the vibrations of everything that happened. In the show, I started on the street and I have a flashlight and I tell the story of the place and I say, okay, let's follow me and let's talk with the ghost. And so with a flashlight, and then another people with also a flashlight, we let enter the stage and then the show start. For me, it's very important that each place, even if I do the same show, that I respect the history and I embrace the history of this place because we are learning about architecture, about history. So this is super important. Where you perform, you acknowledge, where is this, what are the things that happened before? So this is, but Judson Church is my number one. And then many amphitheaters in Rome, in Napoli that I perform. We perform outdoors in this beautiful summer festival. When you turn, you don't know where you are, up and downs, right or left. It's very disoriented because these are amphitheaters. And so I'm thinking, oh, the plays that happen in that. So these two places are my favorites.
Thank you
Love
so
that.
much.
Thank you so much, Piper. Next
Thank
up,
you
we
for the
have
question.
Jocelyn. Introduce yourself, Jocelyn, and what is your question?
Hi, my name is Jocelyn. I'm 13 years old from Houston, Texas. And my question is, when you're starting a new piece, what is like the first thing you think of?
I love the question. Thank you, Jocelyn. Well, let's put it this way. The last couple of years is music and Argentinian music. I feel that here I am doing like a Argentinization to everywhere that I go. Argentinian folk, tango, and rock and roll. Right now, it's like help me to understand my identity and remind me when I was 18 years old and I went to the discotheque 17 years old, what I have was the fullest of my life. So right now, music, lyrics, and have a dialogue between the lyrics. Sometimes I learn the lyrics and then I don't use the music and I spoke the lyrics as I dance, but I don't use the music. Sometime, and I did this in 3 years ago in a show, I put headphones and I'm dancing to the maximum that you can, but the audience cannot listen this music. The music is just for me. And the audience, like, but we want to hear. And I'm like, no, this is my secret. So music that really emote me, that move me, that have memories, that's what is now. But before, it was other things, paintings, poems, a costume. I perform with the clothes of my grandmother that passed away. I have like a nightgown that I remember sleeping the siestas with her. And so I create a solo, keeping and wearing this like a nightgown that have special memories for me. But right now is the music. Yeah.
Love that. Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for your question.
Thank you.
Last question is Haley. Introduce yourself and what is your question?
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm from Houston, Texas. And you talked about understanding sheet music and being able to communicate with composers. Where would you suggest I start or how I start if I want to learn more about music?
Ooh, very nice. Did you study any instrument, Haley? You study music? Have you studied any instrument?
No, I don't know much about music. I've taken one class, but it wasn't very good.
It was a music appreciation class, perhaps. Okay, sometimes this is like miss or not. Like sometimes it's someone that really inspire you. I think try an instrument, whatever you feel, guitar, flute, piano. Start to have music lessons, and then you start to find like there are classes and workshop. I don't know online of these classes that are music for dancers. They teach music for dancers specifically. Usually at the university, we have these kind of classes. How old are you, Haley?
I'm 20.
You're 20. You went to college?
I'm in college
And
right now.
they didn't offer you are in college and they don't offer you that.
I haven't taken it yet, but
Okay, maybe it's about 911 to the music department. And let's see if they allow you to look at classes, to collaborate with one of the students. Maybe you are choreographing something and then you call someone that say, hey, to the music department, is anybody interested in music competition? And then within the collaboration, then you start to learn. That will be a good possibility. And then, and again, crossing the departments, the collaboration with another tribes of artists. I call different tribes because each one of us, we are obsessed with different things. But that will be an idea.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Haley. All right.
Welcome.
One final question from Joella. I think there's a lot of synergies with you and Anabella.
Yes.
Introduce yourself, first of all. Tell everybody where you're from, where you live, where you've lived. You kind of remind me very similar international life like hers. Go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Anabella. So I'm Joana Ramos, and I am born in the Netherlands, but now I live in the Caribbean, Bonaire. It's the Dutch Caribbean.
Yes.
So it's like the ABC Islands over here. But I would love to live in New York as well. And I am coming to New York in 2026. So I really wanted to know, like, because you teach at a university, like, do you also teach somewhere else that I could, like, attend? Or if you have a show that I could, like, see whenever I come in New York in February?
Email me and I add you to the list. Yes, I just opened my studio 3 months ago here in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Just open, no classes.
Are you
yet.
hiring? Are you hiring?
Are you hiring people? Can I assist? Or can I, like, see the process of stuff?
Sure. I just opened the studio. I just use it right now for rehearsals. I tried to figure it out with Bradley. Ooh, how do I pronounce your name again?
Braden.
Yes.
Braden. Beautiful name. I never heard before. You know, I don't want to repeat to have the dance school before. So this will be a very special place. I was thinking about screening on dance, of lectures, or special workshops in choreography. No kids. No, I cannot. No kids. I think it need to be like from teenagers, 13, 14 up. And again, but yeah, be in contact. Please email me. You can find me in social media. So, and everybody that always come, we get a coffee or we get a lunch. I invite them to my classes. You can come and look at my classes, take my classes. So no problem. Even in NYU, they know that I have a lot of visitors.
So does NYU let you bring in guests?
Yes, I bring guests. Of course, pay guests that the people lectures, and then I authorize to
guests to even just class or to assist you or something like that.
But assist me, yes, and we have special showings. You can come to see the midterm. You can come to see the final presentation. My students prepare solos, 3 to 5 minutes, and I have these showings, and then they bring other dancers. Sometimes they use dancers that are not from my class, and I allow them to do this too. Sometimes one time they bring 10 musicians. And so we need to move downstairs to the theater because it was like, it's available because we didn't feed the 10 musicians. They bring drums. I'm like, why you didn't tell me before? Oh, I just bring my friends. I'm like, okay, we need to let them come. So it was a little bit complicated downstairs with security for the university, but we did it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Joella, we were just talking about making connections in New York earlier today. There's your first connection right there.
Yes. Thank you, Anabella.
You guys will have to connect.
Welcome.
And do you speak Spanish too, Joella?
I speak Pimento. It's like a dialect from Spanish, so I can understand a lot of like everything from Spanish, but I cannot speak it. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's almost
very, very Spanish. Your last name.
Ramos is like the Portuguese Spanish side. Yeah.
Yes.
The Portuguese Ramos.
Very, very cool. Well, thank you so much, Anabella, for being here with us and sharing your very colorful background and your story. Your history is very robust, and I don't know if these kids really can understand the depths of the.
I know.
Work. I think it's very beautiful to hear an international journey, an international story, and your background is also very unique as well. So what is the best way for people to connect with you if they want to reach out to you?
They can email me, Anabella Lenzu @gmail.com. I can write it here on the chat. You can follow me in all the social medias. I have to have all this because of the connection international. So if you write me an email or if you write me in Facebook or Instagram, I will reply same. I don't discriminate, oh, this is more serious or less serious. We have different ways. And then any question that you want to, I'm here to help. That's my life. I feel that I have amazing mentors in my life that help me in all the different countries. So I return that favor. This generosity is contagious. And we do this because we love. Yeah. But one thing that I want to share is a YouTube channel. If you go to Anabella Lenzu, I have a YouTube channel. I create a library with, I lost track how many videos, with playlists from historical periods and also choreographers. I don't know. You want to research about Pina Bausch? Well, it's a whole playlist of Pina Bausch. You want to research about anatomy, 3D animation in anatomy? You go to the playlist. You want to about Baroque, all that. So, yeah, that's the promo.
I just found the link. So dancers, have a look in the chat. I shared her YouTube channel as well as her Instagram. Yeah, lots of videos on your YouTube channel. Oh, wow. A lot of dance history. So this is great.
This library because, this is homework.
Yeah, this is homework. If you haven't studied your dance history, she's created some nice playlists that you can start to learn. Who feels like they don't know enough about the history of dance before them that they could probably learn more? Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. You've got some YouTube visitors that can start to learn from you online and then start reading by also reading her book. I'm sure your book is full of stories as well. On behalf of Business of Dance, we send you lots of love. Dancers, show her how we do it. Thank you. It's virtual love. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your work with us. Any final words before we sign off?
Thank you to you. We are cross. I love teaching online for all the Texas fellows. I used to teach at the Joffrey School online during the pandemic. I used to teach dance history. So I have many students in Texas, like 50. A lot.
I love that.
Yeah. We can do many things online. I feel that the community expand and we need to support to each other. So again, anything you need, just let me know. Happy to help you.
Thank you so much, Anabella. Bye, everyone. See you next time.
And that concludes another episode of the Business of Dance podcast.
We hope you found today's conversation insightful and gained valuable knowledge.
Be sure to join us next time for more inspiring interviews with top professionals in the dance industry.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to The Business of Dance on your favorite platform and take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback is greatly appreciated.
This podcast is brought to you by the Business of Dance online mentorship program to help aspiring professional dancers create their dream dance careers.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.